Well, good evening, everyone. Here it's 9:21, and before we join you here at News 4 at 10 o'clock, I want to spend a little time with you here where I don't have time constraints. At least I don't have to be in 3 minutes or less on my weather time. I can spend a good 10 to 15 minutes talking about what I see eclipse wise with our weather. What I'm also going to do is talk about the weekend forecast, and we're going to lead up into the upcoming big eclipse there on Monday. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to see if I can flip my camera around, and I'm going to kind of walk you through uh, what I see and talk about some of the weather models and the data that I'm looking at. So first of all, this is going to be our in-house computer model that I'm going to share with you here, and this is tonight. And we'll just go ahead and go through the weekend forecast here. Let me make this just a little bit bigger. And you can see the time there in the upper portion here of the graphic. Now, this is going to be Saturday. Now, many of you might be going to the big Great Texas Air Show at Joint Base San Antonio Randolph, and this is the way it looks at 11 o'clock. You see it is cloudy in the morning. I expect that cloud deck to generally be around 3,000 feet or a little higher. It might be lower than that earlier in the morning, but it'll start to lift. And then eventually, by about 1 to 2 o'clock, we're going to start to see some breaks of some sunshine mixing out there at the base. So if you're going to be at the air show, of course, the Thunderbirds, that's at 3 o'clock. That's when the Thunderbirds are getting underway for their big final act of the day. You know, make sure, don't forget to put a little sunscreen on because it'll be a little deceptive. You'll be out there getting into the grounds and parking, and much of that first part of the show will be clouds. And then when that sun comes out, boy, you can get pretty quick sunburn. You even get a burn with the clouds, but you know what I'm saying? That UV index will go even higher as that sun comes out. Then here's Sunday. We'll start off. This is in the middle of the night. We'll get a chance for a little sprinkler shower to move by. The morning we'll have some lingering clouds, but quickly it turns mostly to partly sunny. Now notice a lot of this dull gray shade you see here is in fact high cloud cover. So that's that wispy nature of clouds that we would have, not low clouds. And some of that will be over us on Eclipse Day. So speaking of Eclipse Day, one thing I do want to point out is watch the trend here as we go into the overnight hours and into, let's see, let me bounce around, just checking out some of the comments, see if I'm any questions here. I'll try to address some comments and questions you might have in just a second. But notice the low-level cloudiness coming in the middle of the night into early on Monday. That's the humidity levels surging in off the Gulf. So we'll start the day likely pretty murky. Del Rio, Eagle Pass, of course, the Highway 90 corridor into San Antonio. Might even get a sprinkler or two from that morning cloudiness. And then notice the trend late morning to midday. See how we're mixing into not a mostly sunny sky, but this is sort of a partly sunny to a mostly cloudy sky that we do have late morning, midday, and then here's 1 to about 1:30. And so you see it's not perfect, but we're not in this. That's solid overcast down here. So folks in our eastern, southeastern part of our area are not even getting a good partial eclipse. That's pretty tough viewing. And this, while not the best, this at least affords possibilities to have little breaks. Or even if you get a break, maybe you have high clouds kind of getting in your way, but it's not completely obscuring the sun. So I don't think the high cloud cover is going to be so thick that it by itself is going to completely block the sun out. I think it will be thin enough to allow for some solar eclipse viewing. And then you're going to have to like sort of fight patchy scattered low clouds. Some cases scattered, in other areas what we call broken, where it's more small breaks, far and few between. So my feel is as you go further west towards the Rio Grande and Western Hill Country, based on everything that I've been looking at, probably the best chance to pull a partly sunny sky during totality. Bexar County in around Eastern Hill Country, Bexar County to me looks mostly cloudy. We're clinging to these little breaks to get your moment of viewing in. And that's just one computer model. That's our in-house computer model, the IBM graph model. So again, there you can see the morning cloud cover, and it's trying to turn partly sunny. And in some cases, it succeeds. You know, I mean, like if you know, these are big pockets of sun right here, right? And just in the model simulation. So there will be parts in our area here in the path of totality that maybe hit a little bit of a jackpot and actually kind of pull it off while other areas are struggling. So it's really tough to say, but at least our high-res short-range computer modeling is getting into Monday now, where maybe we can get a better idea on where and how things are trending. And then that's at 2 o'clock as it's winding down. So you can see there might be a trend towards even becoming mostly sunny, especially out here to the west. But you see the time now, that's going from 2:30 to 3. So the partial after totality, you know, might turn mostly sunny here. Also, I'm going to switch over here. I'll show you some other computer modeling and things I'm looking at. This is the latest NAM computer model. And what I'm showing you here is the dew points. So this is a Sunday afternoon. Here we are down here, I-35, San Antonio. This is the mugginess. So here's our area of low pressure. Got a pretty good push of dry air that comes in. So you should notice the low humidity Sunday, unless you're near the coast. And in a perfect world, we would be able to keep this dry air over here all day through Monday, which would limit the amount of low cloudiness potential we would have. But as I'll switch over here, and let me pick out, this is going to be early in the morning. Oh, let me show you the dew points here. So this is going to be Monday morning. You can see how the dew points are coming back in. This is around 1 in the afternoon. See how the mugginess is going all the way up to Dallas, back towards Del Rio. So that's that surge off the Gulf trying to move back in. And that's where, you know, you get the low cloud cover. And here, if you look closely, you're trying to pick it apart. This is at about 4,500 to 5,000 feet. This would be like a good solid stratus deck or cumulus, you know, the moisture you're looking at here at the pressure level. It's dry out in Del Rio and the Rio Grande. There's a sharp gradient. And this becomes more supportive of a sort of a strata-Q to a stratus deck. Just based on that particular pressure level. Now I'm going to go even shallower. This is much lower than that. And what I want to point out is, let me back this up. This is in the morning. This is the real low cloudiness that may get mist or sprinkles from. You see how it's pushing in with the humidity. And then notice as I click here, you see how that's mixing out. So that's where you get more, where the low levels, the lowest portion of the atmosphere is starting to break apart that real low cloudiness. And then you get that scattered to broken cloud deck of cumulus to stratocumulus clouds above that. So I'm looking at the lowest 2 slices of the atmosphere here just to try to pick out the low level cloudiness. Now here is the high level cloud cover. And this is off the Pacific. You know, and this is at 1 in the afternoon, this model, you know, and there are some cases here. This is good evidence of a real thin variety of cirrus. That's a thicker, you know, these are thicker high clouds here. And so if we're able by 1 to, you know, 130 pull some, like a little drying in the upper levels, you get maybe what's a very thin scattered wispy cirrus deck that's over us instead of a thick high cloud cover. So, you know, it's a long way of saying that I don't think everything is totally lost. Certainly not going to be ideal like we're having this week. But let me back this up here a little bit. But, you know, there again, you can see this is around 130, and you see how there will be pockets, you know, where we could try to pull it off. And we're going to have crews from the hill country to Eagle Pass. I'll be out in Uvalde County and Concam. So we're going to be in Bandera and Kerrville and Eagle Pass, and we'll have a presence here in Western Bear. But so we'll be able to bounce around with various teams and see how the skies are doing. And of course, yeah, we're going to be continuously getting brand new data in here. And, you know, maybe we trend to where we're getting more bigger breaks, you know, if we can play our cards right here. But again, we just kind of show you that's early in the morning. It's going to be a real demoralizing start to the day for many of them. When you look out the window and you go, well, this is awful. This can't support a solar eclipse. But again, you see how we start to, with a little heating, we start mixing and we get breaks. And we'll have some high clouds scattered. We'll have some scattered low clouds. Some cases it's just, you know, going to be pretty thick and tough. But this is the reason why I hold on to some glimmer of hope that we can at least get some experience with it. In some cases, it may not be good enough for seeing stars and planets in the middle of the day, or see the corona. You could have a little contamination with a variety of clouds, but if you're able to see the disk of the sun and then 100% totality, even through some cloud cover. We saw this with the annular eclipse last year, with some areas getting through the clouds, you're able to still see it. So there's still some hope. This is much better seeing this than seeing a scenario like this over our entire area, which a week ago looked like that could be a possibility. So anyway, let me scan over here to the chat and just see if I'm getting any questions. Yeah, Sergio. Yes, the NAM does do pretty well with the low levels. I have no problem with what I'm seeing with that. Lydia Escobar and Del Rio, you're in one of the better spots as I see it to at least get partly sunny skies. Brittany, yeah. Yeah, absolutely here. This is the case. Do not wash the car to make it rain, right? You want to go the opposite direction this time. Will, yeah, maybe we won't too. I mean, that's always a possibility. There are no promises here on it. Just trying to provide some trend, a trend update on where we are, and while there's still room for maybe some hope. Last year's eclipse was incredibly cloudy. Then it moved down over San Antonio. Yeah. Listen, and there will be some areas I think we'll kind of see that trend where it looks pretty gloomy, and then suddenly eclipse time it kind of pulls off for some people, but it won't be for everyone. And I think it's going to be a little bit like last year, where some were disappointed and some were able to do it. What app was that? This is our weather computer right here. So this is the weather company. Formerly was WSI, and so I showed this on the air. So this is our IBM graph model here. So again, you can see tomorrow starts pretty cloudy, and then we transition into sort of a partly sunny late afternoon sky. Isolated shower, sprinkle very early Sunday or Saturday night, early on Sunday as the front goes by. Turns mostly to partly sunny with a lot of high thin clouds over us in the afternoon in the 80s. Low humidity, and then there you see the low clouds coming back in Monday, and then trying to become gradually sort of like a variably mostly cloudy sky, partly sunny in a few spots. Eddie Fernandez, thanks a lot for the clouds, weather guy. Well, there you go. This is life of the weatherman. Appreciate the humor, though. Yeah. If I could hit a few buttons, I certainly would to try to make things absolutely perfect. But yeah, all this week was Eclipse Weather Week. It was perfect. And, the timing stinks on it. Okay, guys. Well, that'll do it here for this particular chat. We will be doing updates here through the course of the weekend. And of course, continue looking at new information and see where things trend. But we'll be, of course, updating this. News 4 at 10 o'clock. I do get a brand new run of the IBM graph model. It occurs about 5 to 8 minutes in the 10 o'clock hour. So I'll have that in my weather report. I don't think it's going to change a whole lot. But again, that right there, that's about 1:30. So there you go. Del Rio, Eagle Pass. There are some breaks out there. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you here at News 4 at 10 o'clock.